How's it going, everybody? PK Investing here. It's been a hot minute since my last upload, right? I'm doing my last year of undergrad, and it feels like my free time has been cut down to almost nothing. But you know what hasn't been cut? My dividends. Because no matter how busy your life gets, and no matter how little free time you have, your investments will continue pushing forward. And if you're lucky, your favorite dividend-paying companies will increase their dividend every year, getting you one step closer to financial independence. In this video, I'll be showing you how much I earned this past quarter, and I'll talk a little bit about some of my favorite companies and how much they paid me. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first company I want to highlight today is Microsoft, ticker MSFT. Everybody knows Microsoft. Their market cap is over $2 trillion and their yield is under 1%. My favorite thing about Microsoft is that it's a perfect example of a hybrid growth and dividend stock. The company is nowhere near finished growing and expanding, and their consumer base is very loyal. Basically, every company utilizes Microsoft Office, and even in college, I find myself using Word, Excel, and PowerPoint almost every day to some degree. If that's not an indicator of Microsoft's sheer scale, then I don't know what is. On top of all that, the company recently announced an incredible dividend hike of 10.7%. That right there shows you how stable Microsoft is. And while their forward yield is still really small, several dividend hikes of this magnitude over many years will make for a very substantial yield on cost. Last quarter, Microsoft paid out $3.04, which tripped 0.01 shares. The next company I'd like to show is Procter & Gamble, ticker PG. The average person might not know much about Procter & Gamble, but I'm sure they've all heard about brands like Tide, Old Spice, Charmin, and many more. Procter & Gamble is the undisputed champion of the household goods industry, and that's not hard to imagine when you take into account just how many popular brands they own. I myself use several PG products every day, and it was the main reason why I first looked into the company as an investment. The main headlines about Procter & Gamble nowadays seem to be about their upcoming price increases due to inflation and the cost of raw materials going up due to supply chain issues. Some investors are worried about that, and there's also some concern about competition from generic alternatives. My opinion is that while prices may increase, and while there might be competition, I'm still firm in my belief that PG will endure and thrive. Last quarter, Procter & Gamble paid out $10.01, which dripped 0.07 shares. Next on the list is fast food giant McDonald's, ticker MCD. For many, the golden arches represent hot, crispy fries, broken ice cream machines, and mouth-watering Big Macs. To me, they represent a global titan of industry that has dominated the fast food game and also manages a substantial real estate empire. I'll be honest, real estate is a big reason why I like McDonald's. For a while, the company has been shifting its business model and trying to make as many of its restaurants as possible be franchises rather than being company-owned. This might sound confusing at first, but we have to remember that McDonald's owns the land on which the restaurant is built. This means that the company generates stable, predictable income from leasing the land to the franchise owner, and they also get a share of the profits generated by the restaurant. It's a business model I respect because no matter how the economy is moving, the company is basically guaranteed a minimum amount of revenue through their leased land. Not to mention the value of the land will increase as real estate prices increase. To make things even more exciting, McDonald's recently announced a 7% dividend hike. And while I'm not big into eating at McDonald's, I have no problem getting paid by them for being a shareholder. Last quarter, McDonald's paid out $10.01, which dripped 0.042 shares. Moving along, we've got 3M, ticker MMM. The thing about 3M is that they're a perfect example of what a conglomerate should be. the company goes hard when it comes to in-house R&D, and they've got plenty to show for it. The amount of product 3M creates and sells is astounding. A person is usually no more than 10 feet away from a 3M product at any given time. I'm sure you've all heard that phrase echoed numerous times already, but it's an important phrase to understand because it highlights the magnitude of this company. Another neat thing about 3M is their annual holiday gift box. The company basically sends you a care package filled with all their most popular consumer products. You do have to pay for it, but the products are sold at retail value, so you'll end up with some nice savings in the end. I've never bought the box myself, but I'm sure if you visit their Investor Relations page, you'll be able to find out how to get yours. Last quarter, 3M paid out $10.14, which tripped 0.054 shares. Last but not least is my favorite company of all time, Johnson & Johnson, ticker J&J. I would be lying if I said I never considered selling out of everything and going all in on J&J. Johnson & Johnson is the largest healthcare company in the world, and it's pretty easy to see why. The company has its tendrils in all aspects of the healthcare industry, ranging from medical supplies to prescription drugs, and even over-the-counter consumer products. The biggest thing plaguing J&J today isn't their controversial vaccine hiccup, but it's their baby powder lawsuits. While the company has naturally denied any wrongdoing, the lawsuits are still a big factor. You might have heard recently that J&J potentially found a way around all the lawsuits, utilizing a maneuver known as a Texas two-step, which I recently learned is actually not a dance move. J&J is able to form a spin-off company, push all the lawsuits onto that company, and have that company file for bankruptcy. It's a sketchy move that does cast doubt on the ethicality and morality of Johnson & Johnson, but as we all know, if we invested with ethics in mind, we would never be able to invest in anything substantial ever again. All that aside, J&J continues to be my largest stock position, and it most likely will be for the foreseeable future. Last quarter, J&J paid out $11.01, which dripped 0.063 shares. Now let me go ahead and share how much passive income I've earned this past quarter. July saw $131, August saw $133, and September saw a massive $173. This brings my yearly total so far to $1,434. My goal for the year is to earn $2,000 in passive income, and while I'm not quite sure I'll get there, I think I might get really close. But anything can happen, so we'll see. Taking a quick look at my graph, we can extrapolate a baseline and see that the passive income is trending upwards with time, which is exactly what we want. This goes to show that consistent investing in quality companies does take time to pay off, but it does pay off. Finally, I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for sticking around and watching until the end. I enjoy making these videos, and I hope to make many more in the future. You can show your support for the channel by giving me a thumbs up, subscribing if you haven't yet, and sharing this video with a friend. Take care, and I hope to speak with you again real soon. I am not a financial advisor. Investing always involves risk. This video was created for entertainment purposes only.